Hi everybody, this is Gijs again and I hope you are doing well. This is a different video than you would expect from me, because this one is not about outdoor gear, it's not even about bikes or about gadgets, but it is about my biggest toy that I own. It is about my Toyota Landcruiser. More on this after the intro. And welcome back to the video that I'm doing on my Toyota Landcruiser. And why am I doing this video? Well, because in the past many of you have asked me to tell you a little bit more about the truck that I use to shoot my videos and also to spend a lot of days on holiday together with my kids and my wife. And that Toyota Landcruiser has been with us for I think the last 9 or 10 years or so, and we've been doing a lot of camping in it as a family, together of course with the rooftop tent. Now, talking about the rooftop tent, let's get that one pitched first before I continue with this video. So that's the rooftop tent, how we like camping. But I'll get into the rooftop tent later. First, let's start basically with the back of my car. Now, what you will see at the back of my car, I've got a ladder, of course, to get into the rooftop tent. Yes, I welded this one myself. The spare tire is standard on a Toyota Landcruiser. This one has been used as a sort of staircase before I made the ladder. Now, let's dive into the inside. What you will see is that this is something that I and my wife, we really love it. Because it's like a little bench. When the wind is coming from that direction, the door shields me from the wind. And it's absolutely a nice spot to sit in the sun and just enjoy whatever is ahead of me. The view from the rooftop tent, of course, it's way and way better. Now, the cabinet that you'll see here, I built this myself. This is version 4, I think. I never shot it in the past when I was building it. But what is the most important thing, especially when the sun is out and it's a little bit warmer, is of course the fridge. The fridge is on really nice heavy duty slides. They're quite expensive and I'll put the link below in the description. The fridge itself, it is a 45 liter Dometic CFX3, I believe. It can freeze and it can cool, and we use it quite a lot since we got it. The previous model we had a nice big angle, which is a very solid, more steel-like fridge. To be totally honest, if we're talking about weight, this one is way lighter, but the angle, especially where we do longer traveling to the north of Scandinavia, I think that one is a little bit better. What is nice about this one, it's got Bluetooth connection with an app on my smartphone that I can check what the temperature is. But hey, basically I rely on them, so it's not really necessary. Underneath the fridge there is this special drawer that I made in, I think, version number 4. Same heavy duty material sliders. And what I've got in here, it's a Skotti Grill, which can be used with gas but also as a wood stove burner or with charcoal. and 2 tent poles, because of course on the car there is an awning, and these are used to support that awning in case of heavy winds. And the Skotti Grill, I should do a review on that because it's absolutely a nice multifunctional stove. Now if we continue to the other drawers, the bottom drawer, it's made on the size, basically the whole system is made based upon the size of a Rako box, and this is basically our kitchen stuff. In the back I've got some chair buddies. They are for underneath the Helinox chairs. I did a review on my YouTube channel. I will put the link in the description below, of course. And of course the coffee maker, something that we absolutely love to make coffee in that way. The middle drawer, same size. You will see that this is the one for the kitchen stuff. Let me show you this, how this works. This is the kitchen stuff. And then there's more camera gear, all the small parts when I'm doing video shoots. This is my GoPro box with everything like the handbands, the chest strap, another GoPro box. What is also very important is this one. And all this stuff, it's not shot with the GoPro, by the way, because the little camera that my wife is holding, it's the DJI Action 3, which is an absolutely brilliant camera. This is what we call the firebox. And of course in the firebox there's everything that we need to make a fire. The Morakniv, you might have seen that review. Some leather, some birch bark, gasoline in case something doesn't want to go. And again, also this is the Rako box, the smaller version, and it works absolutely brilliant in this system. Now, and the top one, that one is almost empty because there is some, well, instant meals, and there is the thing that I was missing basically, because this is the 12-volt power adapter for the fridge. And I'll show you later how that one is connected. One clever thing that I did, at least I think it's clever, is the fact that when you go to the fridge, you will see that I've got these 2 knobs of the heavy duty sliders. But when you go to the 3 drawers, you will see that there's only one black, and one black. Normally these are sold in pairs. So there's one here and one on that side, just like I made the fridge. Now, because these are pretty expensive, I only ordered 2 of these sets, and I ordered 2 regular ones. So the regular ones are on this side and on this side. But the one with the locking mechanisms are all on the left side. And because this is of course the one for the right side, I had to put it upside down, because that's why the notch is on the upside while it should be on the lower end. That's the big difference, but it's just to be a little bit clever with money. Now, of course, this is our big duffel that we use when we have our overnight stuff with us. That went not totally correct. Now, if we look on the upper shelf that I made, it's connected to the carrying points where normally there are some handles for the grips for people who sit in the back if you have a version with 3 benches. A gimbal, a drone, the MSR Freelight tent that I use a lot in my shoots because it's a nice easy tent, and of course the Helinox chairs. We've got 4, but there are 2 in the car at the moment. Also review on my YouTube channel, and there is of course, which is a brilliant one, it's the Helinox table. So we keep that up there. Now if you turn over to this side, and might not be that easy to see at the moment, this is the water tank. I don't know how many liters it is. I think it's about 30 something. It's a very simple design, and you can see that this is like the hose end what you use at home for the garden hose. And I do a plastic bag around it because now I don't get any cross-contamination when it's dangling around here. A system that we've been working with for I think 5-6 years, absolutely perfect. We use the water for basically a couple of weeks we leave it in there. We never had any issues, so that's absolutely perfect. Some dirt in here. On the other side, and now we'll have to do a little dance. Again, there are more of these boxes, and these boxes, this one is filled with cables for recharging, even for some normal wall mounted power when you go to a campsite where they've got this kind of stuff. And on the bottom part there's one extra box with light, and I use the light box when I want to shoot some nice images when it's dark, so I can enlight the whole car or tents or the whole scenery. So that's why I carry so much of those boxes. Now what you'll see at here, this is the back side of a Bluetti, and it's a Bluetti power station, and I'll put in the link below which one it is exactly. But that one is connected to a charging system that I have in my car. But then you will have to follow me to the other side. At the back of the car, let's get my backpack with all my photo equipment out of the way, because that's here, as well as my tripods and stuff. But below the back supports of the bench, you will see that there is the drawer basically that you saw on the other side where the fridge is on, but there's an extra compartment here for some packs, gas, ropes, the push shovel of course, because you need that once in a while. But you will see that here is the Bluetti, and the Bluetti, I can use it to charge my camera equipment, I can use it to charge the fridge. But at the moment the fridge is connected to a very tiny inverter that I bought somewhere on the motorway in France, and I built this on basically that wooden structure, and this one is powering at the moment the fridge, because when I'm driving that's the most basically energy efficient way. But what I also can do is I can connect the fridge to the Bluetti, and I can charge the Bluetti with the inverter. There's also somewhere behind there a little 12-volt cigarette plug. I can use that one as well, of course, but that's an extra one. But the nice thing about the Bluetti is that I can of course also charge it with a very big solar panel that came with the Bluetti. On top of my rooftop tent there is a tiny solar panel. I can use that one to charge the Bluetti as well. I hardly do it because I've got a small power bank inside the rooftop tent for when we're going to bed in the night, that I can charge my iPhone with it or a laptop. So that is basically dedicated to the rooftop tent, so that I don't have to connect any wires inside the car. And for as far as we've been using the Bluetti, and before the Bluetti we had a big Goal Zero power station. Running the fridge in this way and also charging my camera stuff, it's really never been a problem. Especially not now with a really big solar panel, because in the past I only had a 100 watt solar panel, and I think this one that I'm having at the moment is 200 or 300 watts. But I'll put the link in the description to those articles as well. Might be convenient to you to check this. So that's basically how I put up my electrical system. Now there is one other small one, and this is a very small power station from All Powers. It's got one USB-C, it's got a couple of USB outputs, and this one is the one that I use basically as an extra when I'm shooting with multiple cameras, because this one is then below one of my cameras and I can charge the camera with the adapter that came with the camera, because there are of course two regular, how would you call these, wall sockets? Sounds a bit stupid with a power station, but this one is absolutely working as well. It also came with its own solar panels. But on the Bluetti as well, on the All Powers, I'm working on a review on them, but I got them just before autumn last year, yes. And well, it's been horrible weather in the Netherlands ever since. Today it's a nice day, but I still got to get some measurements, well, fine-tuned and tweaked so I can tell you everything about those things. Now, let's get this one back. Oh, what you will see, by the way, is that, of course, here is the, how do you call this? First aid kit, which is quite a big one. Here is our little mascot, Harry Potter. Now, on the other side of the car, and one thing that's absolutely necessary when you travel a lot into Scandinavia, are these mosquito nets that you can put over your head. Works like a treat. And here you see the toilet roll. One thing that I'm totally forgetting about the rear of my car is that in the standard version, of course, when you buy a Toyota like this, there is this plastic thing with a little pocket. Now, I made this aluminum table, which folds out like this. Put that one on the lock. And this is most of the time the place where we do our cooking. I can put the grill on here. I can use the stoves that I'm carrying inside the drawers. And now, of course, there is this cord that stabilizes this one. So when you open the drawer, well, you've got a problem. But I made this one just with a strap like this and a buckle so that now I can open it. And this is still quite stable. Don't put too many kilos on there, of course. But this works absolutely nice, especially when I'm sitting like here. And of course, of everybody and every brand that I've been talking to in the past, I've got a sticker, or most of them, probably not all. Now, continue to the front of my car, because what you will see, hey, some shoelaces. I need to get them indoors. I've got the big BF Goodrich all-terrain TAKO2 tires. This is the second set that I have since we've bought the car, and they are absolutely long-lasting. What you will maybe see is that there is some green stuff in here, because I did a new spring suspension setup last year. Costed a lot of money. Ironman, that's the brand, and it made the Toyota rise a little bit higher. It's a little bit stiffer now when we have a lot of luggage in there. That's absolutely super. Now, one thing that I'm very, very proud of is basically the driver's seat, because of course this is not the standard Toyota seat. There's a little bit of dust coming out there, but they are bright seats, and I bought them from a guy here in the Netherlands, and I thought they were fake bright seats, because you can buy a fake or a replica one in the Netherlands quite easy, and it will set you back a couple of €100. But when I bought them and I got home and I looked at all the stickers that were on the seats, these are actually the official bright seats from Japan, and they cost an awful lot of money that I did not need to pay. And since I am a Dutch guy, I'm pretty happy about this. These seats, they are made almost to measure to my bum and also to my wife's bum. That one is a little bit wider, but it's a really tight fit. Now, you should have seen the face of my wife now.
You always say it's smaller.
I always say it's smaller. I'm being very polite. But they give a huge amount of support, and if you need to wash them, that's possible as well. So that's what I like about the seats, and of course this is something that I built myself. I'm sometimes quite handy. One thing that I'm absolutely proud of is that green skull. I got it from my daughters for my 50th birthday when we were visiting a shop in Sweden. And I don't know if you know it, probably you do, but this is my iPhone that I use for navigation and of course for calling. And this is a quad lock system, and that one is absolutely brilliant. For the smartphone, just a wire. Of course, it's not charging at the moment because the engine is not running or the ignition is not on, but that's an absolutely super system. It will never ever fall out when we travel, for example, well, pretty tough off roads that we do in Sweden most of the time. Now, I think
Music bed.
The rooftop tent, it is mounted on a front runner roof rack, and I chose the front runner roof rack because it is a very slimline version, and that means that it, well, basically fits nice to the line of the roof of the Toyota. That is also the reason behind why I chose the rooftop tent from Femkesrooftoptents, because it's only 122 centimeters at its widest point. So that means it does not really stick out. It's not like one of those flying saucer things that you've got on these very big aeroplanes from the military. Because when we travel in Sweden or in France or in the Alps through dense forest roads, you've got all those tree lines curving, and I don't want to be catching one of those branches, lower hanging branches, and with this one it's proven to be absolutely super. Quite recent is the front runner awning that we put on a couple of months ago, and we've used it a couple of times. It really gives some nice shade when the sun is out, and also when it's raining it really gives some shelter to sit a little bit sheltered from the rain and the wind. But that's about the awning and about the front runner roof rack. And now let's continue with the rooftop tent itself. The rooftop tent, of course I don't need a ladder because of my box that I made. And I put some anti-slip material on this part that you also put on your stairs, for example. And this is a perfect way to get in the tent. Now, inside this rooftop tent, it's about 1 meter and 20 centimeters wide and 2 meters something long. So my wife and I, we're pretty small, so this is for space enough. Big story about the rooftop tent. A couple of years ago, I went onto a ferry and they told me that I could drive through basically a very small opening. It didn't work, so we crashed the rooftop tent. It's a rooftop tent from Femkesrooftoptents.com, and they gave me a new, of course, second-hand shell. So I took everything apart and I rebuilt the tent basically. I also changed the wooden floor in this one for one that is made out of a sort of combination of fiber. Absolutely very, very lightweight, but way sturdier than any sort of plywood floor. On there's a mattress. There's of course a breathability system underneath, a mesh structure. What I do like about this tent, this one, the fabric itself, it is made from Tenkate fabric, and Tenkate is a very famous Dutch manufacturer of tent fabrics, and this one, it is a breathable tent fabric, and they only made a couple of them, so that's why I am so keen on this rooftop tent, because it's really got a nice atmosphere, way better than atmospheres that I've seen in other tents with just a very tight woven or a polyurethane coating on top of it, which is less breathable. What I also like about this rooftop tent is that it is absolutely high, because I can sit upright here, let's say in the middle of the rooftop tent. If I want to get dressed, I go a little bit to the front and I can stand up, of course crouched down, but I can still dress or undress pretty easy. This is a sleeping bag from Patizon that I'm reviewing. It's a winter sleeping bag. This one is the green one. It's one from Gruezi bag. Regrettably, they still produce this one, but not the mummy model. That one is a little bit lighter, but it's a cotton one. My wife always sleeps in cotton sleeping bags when we are with the car or when we have space and we don't mind about the weight. Of course, backpacking is a little bit different, but it's an absolutely nice sleeping bag. See the review on my YouTube channel again. And of course, no review, but these are the Thermarest pillows that we've been using for, I think, 10 years by now. It's filled with leftovers from the puncture holes in the Thermarest Trail Light series, I think. I told you about the solar panel, and it's pretty hard to show you. So, give me the camera. You will see that there is a rivet here, a rivet over there, and there are two over there. Because this is where the solar panel on the tent enters the tent. It goes all the way down. There is a connection thingy, and then here there is a power adapter. And now I'll hand the camera back to you. And let's get this out of the way, because the camera adapter, and it's not connected now because the car has been sitting somewhere for quite some while. But when I connect this one to that, this is the power bank, and when I've got the sun on that side, and the panel is now of course on that side, so it's not doing a lot at the moment. When it's facing the right direction, this will get charged, and when it's charged, what I can do, I can put this one in here, and then you can see that we've got some light. Now, one of the things is what I'm absolutely surprised about every time when I go onto YouTube and I look at people who are traveling around with, well, similar cars or maybe with big camper vans, that they've got huge solar panels, huge inverters. If you count the price, unbelievable. How much energy do we actually need? Yes, the fridge, we need that one. The rest, I don't think you need a lot of energy just for charging the camera sometimes. But I think it's a lot of overkill. I'll put that one there, and I'll put that one there, so it is going to be charged when the sun is changing to the other side. Of course, the rooftop tent, it is sort of isolated, insulated, I should say. We never had any moisture building up here. And what is absolutely the best thing about a rooftop tent is that you are high, and especially of course on the Toyota Landcruiser, but the views that you get of the scenery around you. We've been in forest in Sweden, we've seen wild animals walking in front of the scenery. It's absolutely brilliant, and of course a little bit depending on the wind direction. Bigger animals won't even notice you that you're up here because of the mesh. From the outside you can hardly see what is happening indoors, so that is also something that animals will never understand, that you're in here. It's like a lot of bird watchers, they go bird watching with the binoculars or with the big monoculars just from a beanie bag on the window of the car, because animals don't see a person in that way. And this little shell, it's absolutely the same. So now we're in the Netherlands. I'm not allowed to sleep here because this is not a campsite, it's just a farmer's field that we borrowed for a moment. So probably we need to get everything down and packed again and travel to a different secret location. So now let's go downstairs. Now that anti-slip material, I also have that one on this part and also on the leather, of course. But now the sun has come out. Maybe I should put out my front runner awning, but no, I can't, because we can't stay here like I told you already. Now, I really hope you liked this video, that it gave a little insight on my Toyota Landcruiser and how I got my stuff in there organized. If you've got any questions, please use the comment section, because I'm more than happy to answer anything that you can throw at me. Now, if you like this video, then please give the video a like. and also consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if you'd like to see some outdoor reviews, well, I'll put the link to that playlist below as well as many things that you've seen in this video. Now, why did I make a video on my Toyota Land Cruiser at this moment? Well, something is going to change in the very near future. I'll keep you updated. Enjoy the outdoors and stay safe. Ciao, ciao!